incredibly well financed now. We can really go and attack these projects aggressively. Both Gooseberry and Tuscarora. We're free carried right now by Rio down in Montana, so we don't have to spend our capital there, but still get the joy of working with Rio and getting news out of them as they fund that campaign. But now we'll do significantly larger campaigns both at Gooseberry and Tuscarora.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Inside the Markets Extra presented by StockPulse.com. We are more than honored to be sitting down today with Warwick Smith, CEO of American Pacific Mining Corp. Thank you so much, Warwick, for joining us today.
Thanks, Justin. Appreciate you having me on.
So you have some breaking news coming out. Can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, so yesterday afternoon, we closed a $10 million financing for the company, closed on $10,146,000. Institutionally led, 80% of that was done by institutions. Gives us about $16 million in cash. So we've got a good war chest to work with. Got a Rio Tinto's. We're just waiting on the final drill results from them on the Madison project down in Montana. We're drilling off with two drills at Gooseberry presently, and then we're going to get 2 drills over to Tuscarora as well. So a significant amount going on these days, and well financed to do it now as well. So we're very pleased about that.
Can you tell us about 2021 and what it's meant for you and your company?
Yeah, 2021's been a transformative year for American Pacific for sure. Starting in May, we added Michael Gentile as a 19.9% shareholder. The company's done incredibly well since then. You know, from the beginning of the year, we started at about a $7 million market cap at the beginning of the year. It's over $150 million market cap now, $16 million in cash. Rio Tinto drilling over at Madison. They've been fantastic partners for us. Drilling just started at Gooseberry. Got 2 drilled rigs turning there. We're going to drill 15 holes there to begin with. We'll look to extend that program. And then we're going to get drilling over at Tuscarora. Obviously, during 2021, we added the second half of Tuscarora as well to make that a 3,000-acre project. Incredibly excited to get over there and get the drill rigs turning there too. So yeah, it's been a big year for us. You know, as of October, there's 867 companies listed on the Canadian Stock Exchange. We were ranked 18th in terms of percentage gains. And that's across all sectors. In you know what has been somewhat of a challenging time for junior mining companies. We've done really well and kind of bucked the trend. So yeah, this has been certainly a very big year for us.
And now you have this breaking news. Can you speak to what that means for you moving forward?
Yeah, without question. I mean, look, we're incredibly well financed now. We can really go and attack these projects aggressively. Both Gooseberry and Tuscarora. We're free carried right now by Rio. Down in Montana, so we don't have to spend our capital there, but still get the joy of working with Rio and getting news out of them as they fund that campaign. But now we'll do significantly larger campaigns both at Gooseberry and Tuscarora, and look to expand those projects as we drive forward into 2022.
Can you speak to venture capital post the COVID, I guess, since March 2020, and what that's looked like, and then generally, but then also as it relates to mining and how you've stuck out amid all the chaos that's going on?
Yeah, there's a lot of chaos for sure. When COVID first hit, it was markets virtually closed for any sort of venture capital funding. But shortly thereafter that, we were able to get financed and start driving things forward. That would correspond in terms of American Pacific with the closing of that Madison transaction. From there, company's grown tremendously. You know, we've certainly seen a lot of new online traders as well. So there's been this new gamut of people coming on and trading from home. Probably with most people working at home, it's given them something else to concentrate on. So that's been interesting. The ability to tap into those people has been something that, you know, on the American Pacific side, that we've been focused on as well by making sure we're communicating with shareholders and doing a lot of sort of an online presence to be able to do that. But we've seen through my office, we run a merchant bank as well. And we've seen, tech deals, mining deals do well, but on a very selective basis. It's still been a pretty tough market for the most part, although, American Pacific in particular has certainly bucked the trend in terms of junior mining companies by doing really well this year.
What has allowed American Pacific to buck that trend?
I think For us, we knew for a long period of time that we had really, really good assets, and we just needed to shine a proper spotlight on the company. It'll catch some of your viewers by surprise that during COVID, Eric and I did 1,000 Zoom calls with different investors. So we certainly put in the time and the effort to get the word out. Then once Michael joined on as a significant shareholder, Michael Gentili joined on as a significant shareholder, it kind of gave us that strategic investor that allowed people to go, okay, it's time to sit up and listen. And because we put in that groundwork before, and with his sort of stamp of approval, it ended up snowballing from there. And people started, looking at the projects more, getting a better feeling for the company. And we continue to push, and it's done really well since then. And that's been great. That allowed us to do that Tuscarora acquisition, which was a big move forward for the company. Now has allowed us to do this significant financing. So now we're in the enviable position to have cash and some great assets to drive forward with. It allows us to look at future M&A and future assets as well. So certainly a lot on the horizon for us in the year to come.
Wow, 1,000 Zoom calls. So that's interesting to me because I think volume is very important in business and moving quick as well. So whether you are submitting resumes, 1,000 sounds like a good number. Whether you're looking for new clients, 1,000 sounds like a good number. Pretty much whatever you're doing, you need to do it at scale and at volume. Can you speak to like 1,000 phone calls? Did you set out to do 1,000? How did it end up to 1,000? And how about the importance of doing so many?
Yeah, for sure. We didn't set out to do 1,000, to be totally honest, and we didn't know how long COVID would last. We thought we'd be back on the road and shaking hands, and that's taking place now, which is great. It's nice to get away from the screen and see people in person for sure. We just knew we had to put in the work. That was plain and simple, and so we just endeavored to do that as best we could. So that was everything from direct investor calls, exposure calls like this, and then conferences as well, where you get the opportunity to meet a lot of people that you hadn't met before. And it was a quick, effective way to do it during a time where you couldn't travel. Is I could sit here, Eric could be at his cabins in Utah, which is typically where he is, and we could talk to people from all around the world. It worked really well for us. It was an effective tool. It's something that we'll continue to use, although certainly getting out and seeing people and shaking hands and getting to know them is a great way to do business as well. We're pleased to be back to doing that.
What can we expect from American Pacific Mining Corp as the year comes to a close and on into 2022?
Yeah, significant news flow. So we've got drill holes pending out of Madison. We'll release those as soon as we get them. We did a magnetic survey, drone magnetic survey that we'll release as well coming out of Madison. There's 2 drill rigs right now at Gooseberry that are turning. So we'll get drill holes coming out of there. We're going to get drills over to Tuscarora as well, hoping that's going to be by the end of the year, but that might be early January 2022. So there's going to be, what investors want to see is, significant exploration going on. We're going to have that going on 3 fronts. And then finally, we have an asset called Red Hill, which we really like, although it's going to be some deep, more expensive exploration. We're looking to bring a partner in there to drive that forward for us and retain a percentage, similar to the transaction we did over at Madison. So with that, we're looking to get that done in 2022 as well. So there's going to be an awful lot of news flow coming out ahead for us.
Well, keep us abreast of that. We'd love to cover it. We've had the honor of sitting down today with Warwick Smith, CEO of American Pacific Mining Corp. Thank you so much, Warwick, for joining us today.
Thank you, Justin. Appreciate you having me on.
And thank you, everyone, for listening. Our pleasure.